Welcome back to Entropia Hustle. I'm Grandpa Funk, and today I'm going to give you 5 investments that will help with general convenience inside of Entropia Universe. To basis this idea, in general, time is a resource in this game, and the more convenience you can bring to yourself, the more time you will generally save. And so that will be the goal with a lot of these investments, is to either A, save time, or B, spend time more wisely. And so to kick off the video, I want to discuss the quad wing with a space thruster as our first investment. I'm sure most of everyone knows by now, but just in case for newer players, warping costs about 25 ped without the return factor. So you go from one planet to another for 25 ped. You don't get to come back for that. It's just a one-way 25 ped. That's the deal you got. And that's $2.50 USD. Now that's quite a bit. I mean, most people generally, if they're going to get a warp, they take a bunch of resources with them. Anyways, that being said, a quad wing will cost about 150 ped, including the space thruster attachment. It is a limited item, but anyways, you can repair it. So right here, I was being lenient, 180 plus percent or whatever. You do that onto the TT value here and the space thruster, and you've got about 150 ped. I mean, it'd probably be a little bit less, right? So you can get it cheaper, just saying. But the value of a quad wing is kind of unspoken about because it's just a norm. Like once you've played the game for a certain amount of time, it's just one of those things you come in touch with information wise. You know, it's very worth it. Whether you know it day one or not, you'll eventually know it. So I did a test, but to get from Next Island or get to Next Island or whatever to Calypso or to and from, right? It is 2 ped of oil in about 40 minutes. So there is a notable difference there. I mean, it's not 25 ped, it's not the $2.50, it's more like 20 cents. And all you have to do is spend about 40 minutes. You can do it AFK. There is a auto fly or auto walk, auto move, whatever. So you'd probably be doing that. But anyways, you know, these are great numbers. Even if you factor in the odds of a pirate attack, it's not every day you get hit by a pirate. You could fly all day and not get taken by one single pirate. That is absolutely possible, and it happens a lot. That being said, it does happen. It definitely does happen. It's best to plot a route that you probably won't come into contact with pirates. So with Calypso over here, and then you got Next Island over here, you probably shouldn't just go straight through the middle, right? Maybe come down a bit. This is probably like a few minutes, I'd say, to get to like right here, and then go along. And then, so you take a few minute detour. I would also change like how the vertical axis of which you're going. So go up a bit more or go below, go down a lot or go up a lot. Either way, most people decide to go up. But the whole idea is to not run into one, or you might lose your stuff. You probably will, actually. If a pirate sees you, they're probably just going to go. Anyways, the reason we chose a quad wing as opposed to its 90-cent cousin, the Sleipnir, which that is a big difference. I mean, we're talking about a quad wing, which is usually $15 compared to 90 cents, okay? Is the simple fact that the Sleipnir is so much slower. And we're factoring in time here, and the fact that if it takes you longer to get from planet to planet in space, then, I mean, mathematically speaking, you're going to have more time for pirates to find you, catch you, take your crap. And so that's why we're going with the quad wing here. The Sleipnir is a good buy. I'm not going to really hate on it too much. It's pretty good, honestly. And if you're going from maybe a moon to another moon or something, I guess it's better. I think it's more fuel efficient. However, I haven't done those numbers. So yeah, that's the first investment we're discussing, though, is the quad wing, and the fact that getting through space is kind of expensive, really. But you could just get a quad wing, and at least those options open up for you in that way. Next up on this list to invest is mainly for those who are out in the field. So I'm talking to hunters, miners, they will benefit the most from this one. Now, this one is, of course, an Aglic ring. Now, this fantastic ring, which it's a little bit misleading on some of the prices, is specifically great when you buy it at the adjusted variant. As you can see, I've got a perfected one here, but I'll tell you why you probably won't want the perfected one. Now, why adjusted? The price of an adjusted Aglic ring is about 20 ped. I have a buddy I play with. He got one for like 12 or 15 or something. And so the next question you're wondering, well, why not perfected? Why stay with adjusted? Well, as I said, the adjusted one is 12 to 15 ped. You get 12 HP for it and 30% regen if my numbers are correct. And the perfected one is better. Yay. Yeah, well, look at the price difference. Okay, so we're dealing with the same TT. It's 10 TT, but we're adding another 480 onto the what you're going to pay for it. So for the stats that are available for the perfected, I would say just stick to adjusted, and it's a fantastic buy at that. I mean, 12 HP, that's huge. If you wanted to go and chip in some HP, you could probably do it for about this price at a low level. But for a player at about my level and where I'm at in the game, it would cost a tremendous amount to get just 12 HP points. And I'm not even that high of HP. I'm not even that far along that ladder of HP. I'm only at like 140 HP, and so this ring does a big chunk of that in terms of what you can bring to a hunt. Or say if I know I mentioned mining. Say if you're out there mining, well, a lot of punies will hit you, right? They will hit you. Oh, cool. You take 1 damage. What if you have 10 of them on you, right? You start taking more damage. Eventually, though, they drop off and they go away, and there's a window where you can regen all of your HP back with a simple ring like this. It also helps with just generally surviving because of the regen. While they're hitting you, it's not like you're not going to regenerate. You're still going to regenerate. And so there it is. You get 50% more regeneration on it, as well as HP. So I can't tell you how many times this ring has determined for me whether I can or cannot do a hunt. Alongside this ring here, it goes great. I take less crit damage. I have increased evade and all that. I would still not put the Athenic ring at in the same level as this Aglic ring though. This Aglic ring is by far, for the price, the best you're gonna get. There's just no telling about how great it is. So I definitely think get this ring. It's fantastic. It'll change. You'll go from punies to now killing the next level 3, level 5s. It's that big of a deal, and it may be the difference of wearing less armor. It could be the difference of staying out there longer, not healing. Some things like that really, really turn a hunt around. So definitely, I recommend getting an Aglic ring. Don't go for the perfected. The perfected's really expensive. Still worth it, but it's not for a newer or mid game player. It's more for like a late game player. So go ahead and get the Aglic ring adjusted. That's probably for the best price you can get it. All right, coming up to the third investment for today. This one is actually a two-part because they kind of go hand in hand with each other, and they provide the same reason to go out and get it. Now, the purchases in question will be A, the Maze Hammer, and B, the starter pack, which results in getting a Harrier assault harness. Now, to start off, I guess we should look at the Maze Hammer. You get this one on Cyrene, and it looks great, right? No, not really. It doesn't do much damage, and everything about it just looks terrible, really. Even the efficiency, right? Well, down at the bottom here, effects when equipped, you get increased run speed by 10%. Doesn't seem like a big deal, but it is. It's a massive increase, and for the price that you pay to get this done, I mean, it's just a mission on Cyrene. So you take the free warp at the end of the week on the Sunday. You warp out to Cyrene, and then you get off. You go do the quest. I remember it being ridiculously cheap at the time. I wasn't putting much into the game, and I wouldn't put it past it if it was like $10 to get this thing at the most, right? And it's worth it. I use it all the time. I have a button press where I equip the armor that I was talking about, the this stuff. I equip all this and the maze hammer, and then I can just run much quicker. And there are times where you just want to run quicker as opposed to, whip out the vehicle and go for it. So in that case, it's very worth it for the money you spend and the time that will be saved. Of course, we're looking ahead in all of these investments. We're looking ahead as if we're going to play this game a lot and try and get the most out of it. So the next one, of course, to talk about is the assault harness here, the Harrier assault harness. I've got the adjusted one. I think that's because I got like a $30 pack or something. But you can get the $15 pack for the same set, and it pretty much provides the same run speed. The only thing that changes, I think, is like the protections that you'll get from everything. Not a big deal really, and the ammo it provides. Maybe it's not even about the protection, but the ammo. I don't know, but as I said before, you can just apply all of this to a button press. So you just press it and then go ahead and you just start running much quicker from that moment onwards. You can start with the starter pack at 15, I believe. I need to double check, but anyways, just think of this too as a package of about $25. You go and get the assault vest, and then you go and get the maze hammer. If you need to pick between one or the other, you'd probably have to ask the question of whether you're going to be mining or hunting, because hunting with the assault harness is pretty nice. If you have a melee weapon, it will run you up to the punies much quicker, and it's perfect armor for punies. I mean, you really can't really go wrong with that. Like, punies will do very little damage to you at that point, even with whatever defensive skills you have. So ideally, though, the maze hammer is probably first to get because it provides the most run speed. So with the number 4 spot we have here, in terms of an investment, I'm going to be looking at hunters more specifically. This investment is a P20 extender. Now, it has some younger brothers. I think there's a P5, a P10, and I don't know, probably others. But this one, P20 himself, is the most effective. This item basically goes onto your weapons as an equipable or whatever, it's an attachment, and then extends their durability by taking 20% of the decay and deducting it from the P20 extender itself. So, just for all intensive purposes, you grab it from your inventory, you drag it onto a weapon, it goes on there as an attachment. You can see down here it's there, and then whenever you shoot with this with the weapon, it will go ahead and take a little bit out of the extender's TT in terms of durability, 20%, and then you'll only be left with 80% on the LR15 or whatever weapon. It even works with TT weapons. So, it's great. It lasts a long time. I recommend it on like the Armatrix series. Probably stay away from unlimited weapons, as they decay a whole lot quicker. And even though it's just as good and still mathematically worth it, it's not really at the same level of effect. You won't be hunting for a tremendous longer period as opposed to just with the Philosopher's Sword. It's always a short hunt anyways. So it is pretty situational in terms of how you would use it on, say, a melee weapon or something. But when you use it with like an LR15 or pistol or whatever, it's just super easy. It's a great choice. You kind of need it. I think once you get to a point of like an LR20 or above, you better have it. There are certain things like having 2 laser sights. You need a scope, a headshot or something, and then you need like a headshot 1 or something, and then you need maybe an amplifier. I would get all of the ones I just said before an amplifier, but of course the extender is like the first one you get. You can only get limited ones as far as I know, which kind of sucks, I know. But the great thing is they don't have much markup. Okay, it's only 106% markup. You can get them for 105% at stores. If you go to a store instead of the auction house, you will find them there generally for like 105%, and it can be less. Anyways, it's 200 pet in TT, so be prepared to drop $20. Using it on a LR15, I've used these ones so much lately. Like I could cycle about 500 ped pretty easily with just a couple of weapons or one weapon in that case, and that makes it pretty worth it in the end. It's a very good attachment for your weapon. So it goes without saying, hunters out there, go and get a P20 extender. It's that simple. So the last one was for hunters. I'm gonna make this one a bit better for miners. However, hunters still will benefit. It's just this one will be much better for a miner, and that is the TerraTech PH3. Now, this mouthful of an item is a tree harvester. Wow, I didn't see that one coming. And a great, if not the best one at that. Now, I don't know any other unlimited ones, so I simply just went out and I found this one. I used this one, and it works quite well. If you see here, it has a 98% success rate. Can't really get much better. It has a lot of uses per minute. You can go up to huge trees with it. Whatever, blah blah blah. Now it levels your resource gatherer. That's a pretty good skill in terms of mining and stuff. So overall, this is pretty nice. On Next Island, personally, on Next Island, it helps a lot. Like if you just see a tree coming around, like say if I'm doing the mining daily and I have this in the inventory, well, while I walk past some trees, I just quickly equip it and scan for the trees around me and see if they're worth it. And obviously every tree's worth it. If I see a tree there, I'm just going to get it as I go along. So it helps a lot. I'm pretty sure it works with I think resource gatherer. That's a skill for mining. So because I had it leveled up before I even got to this, before I even started harvesting trees, I had a bit of resource gatherer leveled up. I think I was only a few levels, but still, I think that all came from mining somehow. And so if that's the case, well, then the link is there. I'm not 100% sure on the skill, but if it is, then I mean, this is a great addition to mining. It's not always the funnest thing when you're mining, but at least this can throw in another factor to look out for when you see a tree, like a huge tree or something. Just go and mine it. Go and use this weapon. You can always this tool. You can always repair it. Has a very modest TT. And honestly, from my experience with trees, it's been a very clean cut game. It's pretty simple. You don't really miss out as hard. If its opposite would be something like crafting, where crafting is can be so lottery oriented. This is more like you know what you're getting. You get a very solid return pretty much every single time, and the price of wood is pretty stable. You can't really go wrong if you just go with this. It's just another way to cycle a bit of peds, get some skills up. On Next Island, there's also a daily quest where you do. It's not a daily, actually. It's a weekly quest, and you got to get 10,000 trees or harvest a tree 10,000 times or something. And yeah, I've yet to know what the reward is for that, but I'm working on it with one of these. So, anyways, that's the last one we have here is the TerraTech PH3, probably the best tree harvesting tool out there, and certainly the only unlimited one. So, some honorable mentions I would like to bring up. I have three of them here. One being a good healing chip or a healing tool, like a FAP or a nice healing chip. This goes without saying, but sometimes you don't want to heal when you're being attacked. Sometimes the healing tools you might have might not be great for when you're being attacked, and you'll use something else just to get through the mob, and then when you're outside of combat, you can use a really highly efficient healing tool to bring you up at a much more reduced cost, a very efficient cost. So that one's a pretty good one to think about. I just didn't think it was going to be super relevant to like everyone, even hunters or miners. They could probably benefit from something else a little bit better. But it's something to keep your eye out. If you can find a very good healing tool that will work for you in your range of what you want to kill, then I reckon do it. Like you can't really go much worse with it, and it's better to have a good one than one that's a little bit on the low side of it because it's generally unlimited as well is the way you want to go with it. So yeah. Number two, we have adjusted pixie. You can get pretty much any disciple armor you please. I always think Pixie is a little bit better, and you want adjusted Pixie. You get that from completing your mentorship program. So go ahead and do it. Get the mentorship program done. You could do it alongside a lot of other things to, graduate, and then voila, you got the set. Um, the reason why Pixie is so good is it's at a very peculiar um, time in the game where you will go up a lot of levels, but you will hit a wall without Pixie. And Pixie obviously gets you over that wall. If you're on Kali, you can start killing Kerberos with Pixie. You can start killing Aatrox with Pixie. You can kill a whole lot more things with just Pixie. And the next great thing to note with Pixie is that it can be plated. Of course, it's armor, so you could always just go ahead and put some plates on it and extend it that much further. Pixie is one of those armors you'll never really throw away because if you're at my level and you're about level 30 odd or whatever, then going back and killing Kerberos is nice, but you don't want to do it in your number one armor. You don't want to do it in the best armor you have. So you just chuck on some adjusted pixie or whatever you have. If it's Atlas, that's a pretty good one. There's some other ones too, of course. They're disciple armor, so whatever. And the third one, I was going to be a bit cheesy with it and just say you need to invest some time, specifically on a mothership doing repairs. This is such a great thing to do early on. Obviously, it's great no matter what level you do it at, but early on you can really just grab the benefit straight away from it. You just jump on, say the Cronin, I think is offering vehicle repairs, and you go in there. You go with, I think you go with $10 or something, and then they'll sell you some of the vehicle repair tools and the welding wire that you're going to need, or whatever it's called, the wire. And you just start repairing. You just repair it all the way up until the engine, everything is all fixed. And from doing that, you get a whole bunch of crafting crafting skills. Sorry. So at this point, you can be a little bit more self-sufficient. On Next Island, I know for a fact on Next Island, it would benefit so much more if you just had, say, level 5 crafting. That's very modest to get, but I mean level 5 across the board, which is basically what you get from doing vehicle repairs. And there's something, I think you get blueprint something from it. So you can like reverse engineer. I don't know what it is, but it gives you a profession. You need to go up and do a certain amount of vehicle repairing before you can unlock all the professions, as part of what I can know. But anyways, by doing that, you can be so much more self-sufficient. Over here on Next Island, weapons are kind of expensive. They can be at the same price, but sometimes they get sold a bit more on days where it's kind of dry, where there's nothing around. And it's fair enough. You have to sort of just suck it up and do it if you want to hunt, or otherwise you go and do something different, like me. But if I had the crafting skills, you could simply just, while you've hunted, you gain a bunch of those resources, and then you just funnel it straight through the crafting machine, make your own guns. Buy the blueprint at a good price that you're cool with. Hey, if you don't get it at the price you're cool with, and if you don't get all the resources you're cool with, well then guess what? You're still not at a loss. You can just go buy the gun like you've always been doing. But at least you have that as an option on the table, and it'll save you time. It'll save you money, it'll save you time, and time is money. So that being said, probably should go on a mothership, level up as far as you can be bothered to, and it'll set you apart for a long time. It goes without saying in that way. Thanks for watching. I know that maybe this wasn't the best of the guides that could have come out in terms of what to invest in, but I've really tried to boil down on like the price side of things and what you're going to get out of it in terms of skills or um, you know ped or time being saved. So I hope I did an all right job. I think I personally did. If I was to say one that is absolutely a no-brainer, it would be the quad wing. It is in every essence of this video making sense. You may have to pay 150 ped you know, getting the space thruster with it in that 150, but at least then you have the option to load it up, go into space, and just go to another planet and sell everything you got. Um, that's something that, you know, people don't really think about. People stop as well because there are pirates in space, and people generally just don't want to risk it. And I understand that, but I mean, you could definitely bring out a little side hustle with the quad wing, and you know, more times than not, you will make it. I've never once been taken by a pirate. Never once. I've been there right next to someone who has and whatnot, but they never really deviated from the beaten path. They never really, uh, they generally just risked it in the most riskiest way possible, generally. But even motherships, even you got to understand, even motherships can get raided by a pirate, and it'll just happen. That's why some of the best motherships that you can get to warp from place to place, right? They'll ask you to log out. They'll ask you to log out, because that way, if a pirate comes along and they fuck up the ship, then you will survive with your stuff. You will be at a space station in the end, or something, or somewhere, and they can sort it out basically without you losing your stuff. Um, it's pretty easy as well. They'll get you on like the Discord that they have. They'll send you a link. You just do the thing. Pretty simple, but it's 25 ped. Sometimes it goes more than that. It goes 30 or more, and sometimes they're in their own sort of quad wing or the Firebird, and you can't really take too much in terms of weight. In terms of actual weight, you could take a bunch of something as long as it doesn't weigh too much. So yeah, probably the second no-brainer I would have to say is probably like the starter pack. I glossed over the starter pack just talking about the run speed part of it, but you do get a bunch of skill pills out of it. That's like, I mean, you get a really nice one in there for like 50% or some for a few hours. It's great. You get a bunch of ammo, so if you're gonna hunt and you're gonna hunt, then just do it. Just get the starter pack. It'll take you off the ground. It'll get you to about level 10 before you won't need it anymore. And that's pretty much when you get into like Pixie and stuff. So that's pretty much what you'd want to do for your top two out of this whole list. It would be that. I did throw in others like the Terratech. That one I was debating about it on my own, but it's pretty good. I mean, it's a good investment. I haven't failed with it yet. Like, it's been great. So I think it's good. I think it's worth it, and it's relaxing too. You just sit there and do the weekly quest on Next Island or something. Great, but I probably wouldn't get it if you're not on Next Island. I think Arcadia you can do trees as well. Anyways, so that's gonna wrap it all up, guys. I'm gonna make another video probably like straight away after this video and just try and upload both today. So then it's been a bit dry lately because I've had some real life things going on, so I've been doing that obviously. But yeah, anyways, that's gonna wrap up this video. I'll see you next time I see ya. Come by the stream. I'll put Twitch in the link below. I'll also have a link to the wiki in case you guys want to go and do some research on there. All right, peace.